Peoples of the universe, please attend carefully. The message that follows is vital to the future of you all.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Saturday. It's 5 o'clock in the UK or wherever you are in the world. But I'm thinking 5 to 5. I should say it's 5 to 5 because then we can say it's Crackerjack. That's what we used to say. What was it? Thursday? It used to come on this kids show called Crackerjack. They had quite a good Doctor Who parody they did once. It was it Thursday. It's 5 to 5. And it's Crackerjack. But it's not. It's 5 o'clock. And it's Saturday. Yeah, the traditional Doctor Who slot is coming up to left, but bereft and empty. I guess the traditional Doctor Who slot is now 7 o'clock around there, right? Yeah, I think for the new series. So anyway, I hope everyone's well. I've been watching WandaVision. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. I do not think it's worth subscribing to Disney Plus, or it's certainly not the same link for me anyway. With The Mandalorian. But yeah, we're going to be talking about it. We'll go through it in general. I have to be off within an hour tonight, right? I got 1 hour. It's my father's, as we call it, a yahrzeit. This is the day in the Jewish calendar where he passed away. So so fortunately, you know, the pandemic has worked out well for me once again, because I'd have to go and hang out with my sister. We're having a Zoom meeting, and again, that's starting in 1 hour. I can't be late. I can't be late. I'll be in too much bloody trouble. But I think an hour is more than enough to talk about these first 2 episodes of WandaVision. I'm a little bit miffed they don't have titles. I have a compadre with me to talk over this with me. Ninja Knight will join me any second. Before we do that, I'm going to be doing this a few times through the night. Through the stream. Could I beseech everyone, if you have not already done so, firstly, you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button. That's freaking awesome. Thank you very much. Hit the like button, hit the share button, especially in these times of, I would say, unprecedented big tech censorship. The only pretense of having a chance at us independent voices out is if you hit the subscribe button, you hit the like button, you hit the share button, you comment. All those things are really, really good. Our good friend Noel had his channel taken down for 10 days. I think quite unjustly. He has a backup channel. I'm going to ask everybody if you could. It's in the link. It's in the chat. If you haven't already subscribed to his backup channel, I've got to set up a backup channel as well. I just realized. Please do go and do that. I invited Noel. It's a little bit early for him. It's a little bit early. Our ships do not cross in the night. But if he joins us, that'd be great. Let me just say hello to everybody who's here. Ethan Buckheimer, how are you? You are doing very good, Eastland. I believe you live outside of an urban area. I think that's going to work out well for you in the coming months. I would suggest don't move to any urban areas, okay, for the next few months or ever. Mableball 23, how are you? Still got to check out the David Lynch thing. All right, I'm going to do that. If I have time between this and my father's Zoom call thing with my sister, I'm going to Guitar Lily. What's Guitar Lily? Did you mean guitar? Is it like a ukulele? Guitar Lily? I don't know. Okay, so there must be a guitar like you. I think you will explain to us in the chat if you're still here in a few minutes. Oh, I guess you won't. We're never gonna know. So I may miss most or part of your stream this morning. Listen. Learning an instrument, far better than listening to me drivel on about nothing. Charlotte Shields, how you doing? I hope you're very well. But you just said, look at that. There we Jeff posted his number. I've got to check that out. That sounds so weird. Jonathan Cox, how you doing? Didn't you say that last week? I say it every week. Okay. Here's the thing. I don't remember the stuff I say, so I just say the same crap all the time. Disaster, how you doing? And Jonathan, hello. Fine. So let's bring on our guest. We have, as I said, somebody quite stealthful, quite limber, quite he can move without seeing him. He's a knight, but he's also a ninja. It is, of course, the Ninja Knight. How are you doing, sir?
All right, Rabbi. How's things? How's the chat? All good.
Awfully good.
Excellent. So you're talking about WandaVision today, and first of all, I just wanted to say, very much so, rest in peace to your father, and very sorry to hear that. I didn't know that. But I wish you all the best in regards to that, because that's it's a tough one.
these things happen. Listen, if it look not that anybody passing away is good, but if you have to do that, you want to be an island at the time. An Irish wake cannot be beaten. An Irish wake is like the best thing I've ever been to ever. I have never seen so much booze in my life.
Yeah, it goes on for quite a while.
It does. It does. It's so much better than anything Jews do about anything. That is freaking awesome. Andrew Bulman, how you doing? Evening, Rabbi. Don't know about what Wanda is on, whatever. Looking forward to your take on it. Well, listen, my initial, I haven't listened to any of his reviews, but I saw the initial feedback from Twitter from people I like as really liked it. I haven't heard his review. That's the thing. I have to review something before I hear anybody else's review because I don't want to be influenced either way. So look, I'm going to give you an overview of what I saw, and then Ninja Knight, maybe you can come in and tell me your thoughts. So it's we've all seen here. Yeah, throw out some images from it so we can see what we're talking about. We've all seen like the promo image. Here, there we go. Share screen. There we go. There you go. So yeah, so we've all seen these like promo images. It's very, very. It's set after Avengers Endgame. Now, let me say, going into this, I'm not overly infused because I did enjoy the MCU right up until I would say Captain Marvel came along. Like Captain Marvel just like threw cold water on it, and thank God Endgame came along like 1 or 2 movies after that because I was really ready to get out by then. Like I was really 100% ready to get out. I bought all the MCU movies up until Captain Marvel, and I was like, forget it. So I just bought Endgame as it was a capstone. I didn't bother with Ant-Man and Wasp, but it seems like the MCU is going to be the MCU. That's really the way they're going with a very female centric lead. And I've just seen that over and over again, and it hasn't really worked. That said, what I saw wasn't awful, wasn't like painfully woke at all. It hasn't hooked me. So what it is, it starts off. It's a 1960s comedy sitcom like Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, that sort of thing. A Dick Van Dyke show. Very, very like Pleasantville. Have you ever seen the movie Pleasantville? And Wanda Maximoff, what's her name?
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch, yeah. So she's there, and she's newly married to Vision, who I believe he's dead, isn't he? At the end of Endgame, right? He was still dead.
Oh, very much so, yeah.
Fine.
There's a lot of theories about this one, yeah.
Fine. So he's alive, and we had 2 episodes, both of them very, very traditional, like 1960s sitcom plots, which was very obviously. Hello? Oh, I'm back here. Sorry,
You're back here. You froze,
okay,
did you?
Good. Yeah, that was weird. So anyway, it's 2 30-minute episodes. Very obviously 1960s passages of those comedies, Dick Van Dyke Show, all of which I like. I didn't find them gripping enough to really like bring me through it. I didn't find there enough tension there. There is clearly something going on that we don't understand, right? Something going on, a wider story. And I just think this probably would have worked better as like if they dropped it all in one day as like a one part. Honestly, I think they should have done it like maybe from what I've seen so far, 4 episodes would probably be enough. I'm already bored, right?
Yeah.
By the end of the first episode, I was like, okay, so let's get going. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. I saw this was written, and the showrunner was one of the gazillion billion people who worked on wrote Captain Marvel. And so this is what I think. I just think this is like a cool idea for a comic in the 1980s or 1990s. If you're a genre fan, this is very played out at this point. Very, very played out. But Ninja Knight, what's your thoughts? Are you more positive than me on it?
No, I'm probably the opposite. Look, I think
go ahead.
I think, like you said there as well, it's played out. Like I'll say, first of all, look, I know an awful lot of people are going to say, like, oh well, that's what was shown in the trailers, but I absolutely despise the sitcom. I do not like the sitcom.
Oh, in that case, you're not going to like this.
No.
Listen, I'm going to spoil everything heavily. At the end of the second episode, they get like hit. They get hit by like a reality beam or something, and everything starts to turn into color, and you're very much in a 1970s sitcom, right? Which I think we're going to do for next two episodes will be my guess. But they're stepping it out.
Well, I personally don't like sitcoms myself. I don't like canned laughter. I don't like the forced humor. I don't like any of that stuff. I've never been a fan of any of those shows. Like, I mean, I despise the sitcom Friends. I really don't like it. So this reminded me kind of like Friends as well. So it wasn't for me. But I think overall, like, an awful lot of people are saying, well, that's what you expected going in. Yeah, but what it's doing is it's playing off of the comic House of M, which was a big event it was. But when you look into House of M, it was created by Brian Michael Bendis, who has been a very big detractor in comics for the last number of years with some of the creations that he's made. I mean, his Superman is widely known as one of the most hated Supermans that has ever been.
Now, listen, I have to tell you, Bendis, I used to be a massive fan of. I loved him. The whole House of M era. I didn't read House of M, but I loved Powers up until I'm trying to read that last Powers trade paper they pulled out, and I can't get through it. It's too boring. It's just not at all.
This to me like comes like kind of like it's going in a certain direction, and I think by the end of the first episode you see the direction in which it's going. And I mean, it's obvious. I think it's obvious with some of the things that they had, like the Easter eggs through the series, particularly in the first episode, like with the Stark toaster advert and stuff, and the fact that she didn't have rings, she couldn't remember anything. And I think one big hint to know that Wanda is completely and utterly in control was when I don't know whether you want to go through the first episode itself, Rabbi, or if you just want to gloss over it.
The synopsis pulled up if you want to.
Are you happy to gloss over it, Grant? When the Mr. Hart started to choke and everyone sat there doing nothing.
Before we get to let me read it out so people can like have a rough idea what's going on. So the first episode, it's the a very, very traditional sitcom idea of the boss coming home for dinner. Okay, so let me just I'll fill you in. They're newly married. They go in over the threshold. WandaVision, was it Wanda Maximoff and Vision, and they have a very traditional, like again, 1960s sitcom house. Heather Sulu, how you doing? They have a very and he goes to work. He's not really. They're not really sure why they're there or what he's doing at work, and nobody really has any idea what he's doing. But he knows the boss is coming over, and the boss comes over. It's also got the mother. The wife of the boss is the mother from the 70s show, which was good casting. Right, yeah. Fine. So let me read the Wikipedia synopsis. Newlywed couple Wanda and Vision move into the town of Westview during what appears to be the 1950s. They attempt to blend in, despite Vision being an android and Wanda having telekinetic abilities. I'd say that's something I don't really like about this. I found Scarlet Witch and Vision the least compelling Avengers. And they're okay with other people, but like for one scene here and there. But like I don't really care. Okay, one day they notice a heart drawn on the calendar, but neither can remember the occasion. While Vision goes to his job at a computational service thing, Wanda decides that the heart represents their anniversary. Their neighbor Agnes, who's a very traditional sitcom neighbor, introduces herself to Wanda and helps to prepare for the anniversary. So look, basically the whole thing is she's all glammed up for their anniversary dinner, and he turns up with his boss and his boss's wife, and it's like, oh, confusion, it's a sitcom. At work, Vision amazes colleagues with his speed, but is unsure what the company actually does. His boss, Mr. Hart, reminds him that Wanda and Vision are hosting Mr. Hart and his wife for dinner that night, which is what the heart represents. That night, Wanda struggles to hide their abilities. Yeah, so they do play off Bewitched and stuff, and stuff like that. What's it called? Mr. Ed. It feels like one of those things. And their abilities, making a last-minute dinner for the Hearts. During the meal, Mr. Hart chokes on the food, and Vision uses his abilities to save him. All these events are taking place in a fictional sitcom, WandaVision, and are being watched by someone on a screen. So I say we're filled in. Fine. So what were you going to say?
Well, I think with that episode, particularly when you see that scene when it's at the house and the Mr. Hart starts to choke on the food, and everyone sits still, and it's only Wanda panicking. And I noticed with the shot as well too. It's a pity that Dan and Mega Geek aren't here because they can talk all about shots and how they reference things. But the shot, it stays on her, and particularly her for the majority of that scene, and it doesn't show the back of Vision's head, and he's not reacting whatsoever when you see it choking. Only when she turns and she says, Vision, do something, do we see his face? And he starts to kind of panic. It looks like panic in his face. And then he does something about it. And then the way in which they exit the house, it's all hunky-dory and they walk out and it's great and all. It really does float into the idea that this is it seems like Sword, because they said that they're going to be starting up Sword now, particularly in either the movies or in a TV series, that they're going to be having her under some sort of, I suppose, induced coma or something like that, I feel, because she's obviously had some lash out.
Like she did some kind of Hydra experiment and they're like trying to tap into her. Yeah, I mean, but like, come on. I got to wait another week to go nowhere. Yeah, I mean, listen, that was it. Jed Testo just said there's lots of comic book Easter eggs in it. I don't really care. I don't really care. I really like the Watchmen movie because it, like, for me, it reminded me of reading the comic. But most people who didn't know the comic didn't really care, right? I don't really care about the
characters have to be interesting, and I agree with you, Rabbi, that Wanda and Vision are particularly two very flat characters, in my opinion. And there's nothing about them. Like, I mean, this isn't like if Tony Stark was doing something like this, it'd be highly interesting. But they're just two characters that just don't. I can't see the excitement nor the build around them because they're not two people that I find very interesting. Like, I mean, Paul Bettany is a good actor, but I don't find the Vision character a very compelling character. I really don't. And I haven't found Scarlet Witch that way either.
In any way compelling, right? No. I just I don't care about that, and there's not enough. You see, what would really be good is if they started to break out of their conditioning, right? And they got put back under. When you got a bit more going on outside to bring you back into that main plot. But as it is, the main plot just bookends the episodes, and the episodes are kind of dull pastiches on sitcoms, which I could watch. I'd rather watch a Phil Silver show, quite frankly. I'd rather watch a good sitcom.
I personally hope that what they're doing is they're setting like the first couple of episodes up. And Rabbi, the budget for this show, by the way, is 150 million.
I know, that's freaking crazy. That's
30 more million than The Mandalorian. Like, to put into context, well, it has to be the later episodes. There has to be some sort of break, or something has to happen insofar as that they come back into the real world and there's a helicarrier or something like that, because it's impossible for this show to be 150 million, and this is all we're saying, because I mean, you couldn't have spent 150 million on this.
It's very expensive now, you know. So you know they got to charge it off for that. I guess deliveries are harder during a pandemic and the apocalypse. But you know, Chris Berger's here. How you doing, Chris Berger?
Hey, Chris.
So like, I mean, I'm glad. I think it actually hurt them dropping 2 episodes as opposed to 1, because I just got a real repetition of it over and over. Like, oh God, I'm back here again. I'm still gone nowhere. I don't know, maybe it would be better as 45-minute episodes or an hour episodes and less of them. Just, I mean, so anyway, so that's what you have in the first episode. The second episode, it gets it's pretty similar. I know it had Emma Caulfield in it. It was from Buffy. Right. So they get to meet more of the town. The town is very noticeably diverse. You're right. You know, it's from a 1950s, 1960s town in America. There are a lot of non-white faces there, which I don't know if they're going to reference or not. I really don't know. I really don't know at all. So the second episode, I'll read the synopsis. Let's see what we have to say. During what appears to be the 1960s. Oh, yeah, so maybe they go on, they move forward a decade each week. During what appears to be the 1960s, Wanda and Vision begin to hear strange noises outside the house. The next day, they prepare their magician act for the neighborhood talent show. Wanda, I mean, it shouldn't be hard. She's literally magic, and he can walk through walls. I mean, really? Wanda and Agnes spend the day with Dottie, she's played by Emma Caulfield, and a group of women from the neighborhood, while Vision attends a neighborhood watch meeting uninvited. Wanda befriends another neighbor, Geraldine. Oh, Geraldine, is she the black woman, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. And she begins to notice other strange things. So it's a voice on the radio that seems to be speaking to her, and a blood stain that's in color. Oh, right, there was a red light in color in the first episode as well, which gives you the color gives you an idea that something weird's going on. Unlike the rest of the surrounding, where everything is black and white, and a yellow and red colored toy helicopter in her bushes. You should trim, darling. You should trim. Vision becomes friendly with the local men at the neighborhood watch, and they give him some big red gum. I had no idea that Vision couldn't eat as well. That's a major plot point in this episode. That Vision
they kind of stated in the first episode that as well too, because they kind of laughed about it and like, oh, I don't eat, and it's just like, okay, this might play up later on, and immediately it does the next episode. So that's a nice little tag between the two. Like you said, Rabbi, yeah.
When Vision arrives at the talent show, he appears to be intoxicated and reveals his ability as a neighbor. Yeah, so what's going on? He's taken some gum, and you get like an animated inside of him, like a cutesy 1960s animated version of inside of him, which shows the gum gumming up the works, and so which makes him drunk, apparently.
Right.
Wanda uses her ability to make Vision look like he's doing simple magic tricks. Afterwards, Wanda removes the gum from Vision's gears. Their performance is well received, and they return home, wherein they discover Wanda is now pregnant. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Suddenly, they see a strange beekeeper emerge from a manhole in the street. Yes, okay. Wanda panics, and reality resets before the figure appeared. The setting has changed to 1970s, and everything has become colorful. And the voice asks Wanda who is controlling her. Again, yeah. Listen, we know what's going on. Something we don't know exactly. We know something weird's going on, right? But like 2 episodes out of 9, and you still haven't told us yet. It's not a good idea, right? It's just it doesn't really work.
I hope it starts moving.
Tell me more about the House of M. How's this all tie into that?
So the House of M is a comic book series, as I said, and basically it's an issue to do with a lot of what the mutants and particularly Magneto, and there's Quicksilver's involved in that, and Quicksilver's allegedly involved within this show as well too. So I'm wondering how they're going to get around the fact, because as you know, Magneto is the father of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Now we've seen an awful lot of people rumoring casting news for the last couple of months, and they all seem to be thinking Giancarlo Esposito is going to be Magneto or someone.
Well, he's like the go-to bad guy now, right?
Yeah, he's go-to bad guy, and he's like 5'4". You know what I mean? So I mean, pretty clearly seen it on the Mandalorian.
He was pretty darn good in Breaking Bad, and the Mandalorian he wasn't bad.
He's okay in the Mandalorian.
What's that other show he was in? Was it Revolution? The one where they couldn't make electricity.
No, I haven't seen that one, no.
Yeah, it went for like 2 or 3 seasons. It wasn't great. Right. But he was a bad guy in that as well.
But getting back to it, the House of M is an event, and basically, to cut a long story short, at the end of it, Wanda gets so frustrated with reality and with mutants that she says no more mutants, and basically wipes them out of existence. I believe within this show they're possibly going to set her up to do the exact reverse, that she's going to say mutants or something like that, and they're going to pop out, or they're going to do something with the mutants going forward.
Oh, so you're saying this is the gateway for like the X-Men entering the
now MCU. I will say one thing as well too to you, Rabbi. I had a conversation and a brief interaction as well too, I should say, rather than conversation, with Rob Liefeld, who's the creator of Deadpool, and he's only announced now that they're going to do Deadpool 3 with MCU, and they're going to do it R-rated. And I said to him, look,
really?
I'd love to see, I said to him, I'd love to see Cable and Colossus and all of that going forward. And he said, I know Josh Brolin's interested in being Cable yet again. He says, and then he made subsequent statements down on his own Twitter, which said, I wish that there was somebody that had basically a majority interest in the X-Men that's basically as powerful or has ownership in a way that Liefeld does to push the X-Men in the MCU, because he said it seems to him like they don't want to go near the X-Men for a very long time.
Yeah, I can understand it. So listen, everybody out there in Genreville, I have to tell you, whatever the plans for the future are, I would reasonably forget about them, right? I don't think anything's really coming. Just in terms of real world stuff, which we all really want to get away from, but real world stuff, I just don't see. I see without there being cooler heads prevailing in America, that place is going to be broken apart and give me in a war within the next couple of months. And I just don't see cooler heads prevailing. I'm really hoping it does. But if that goes down, forget everything. There's no more. It's all over. It's all over. You're not seeing any more of any of this stuff. So it's weird watching it in that context. Saying this is the beginning of Phase 4. I'm vaguely interested. I guess we're never gonna know. I guess so. This was supposed to come out after the Black Widow movie, though, wasn't it?
There was, it's quite curious to me that they've held onto the Black Widow movie for so long that and they've actually pushed this out before the Black Widow movie, which is very interesting because it seems to me then that they must be holding something within the Black Widow movie, and there must be, I mean, it has to be an after credit scene that's obviously very vital to what's happening going forward. And I mean, you're seeing strange moves, by the way, with relation to the company. Like, I mean, you're seeing the likes of Chris Evans being in talks to come back as Captain America. Now, I know he's saying on Twitter that it's news to him, but I don't believe that's true. I believe that the company are going full tilt into what they know and what's going to be successful. Well, I mean, look at
what the finances have told everyone, isn't it?
Of 100%. Right? I mean, nobody cares about Sam Wilson as Cap. Like, they don't. You know what I mean? And that's.
By the way, I just want to interrupt to say to Retro Dicky, yes, you're right. We're going to mention Noel's other channel. I've already put it in the chat. I put it in the chat again. If you're not subscribed there, head over there, subscribe. That's where he's using for next week or so. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I don't think Sam Wilson is going to be someone that's going to be very popular as Captain America. And when you look at this show as well too, and I know you're getting a lot of people on Twitter being like, yes, it's amazing and all that, but I mean, how many of those people are buying the Disney Plus subscription to watch this? And I mean, for anybody that's even a passing fan, they're like, this is crap, you know?
This is not worth a subscription. I mean, again, as something I like the MCU. I liked a lot of it. But yeah, honestly, they killed the MCU for me with Captain Marvel. They really did. And if it wasn't already dead, that the girl power scene at the end of Endgame was just. I mean, listen, I didn't mind it when I saw it in the cinema, but you can't watch that again. It's so cringe. It's super
if there was an editing
cringe.
tool to edit that part of it out, I think that it would be a much better, cleaner movie.
Yeah, and that's like. It's not a diss on the characters. I'm sorry. It's just it was just embarrassing. It's like women can do things too. We know. We nobody minds women apart from you weird sickos in Hollywood. Yeah,
and then they're blaming the audience. Hey, we're getting these people in here, and this is what. And you're like, no, we haven't been casting people for the last number of years. It's you guys,
right?
You know,
just crazy.
I think this is a very strange way for them to go with Marvel, though. I don't know who thought that this was a good idea personally. Now, I will say this: it's 2 episodes in. Maybe we're going to see a wider world. It's $150 million budget, as I said. It has to break out at some stage. There has to be something that goes awry. But I don't know what the plan is. If it's a whole season of this, it's not.
I think it's at least a half season, right? I think it's at least a half season. But okay, my guess is the first episode is 50s, second episode 60s. So episode 3 will be the 70s, episode 4 will be the 80s, episode 5 will be the 90s, 2010. So basically, by the time you get to episode 7, you're up to date. It brings you to the current year. But that seems like a long time to schlep this out. This is like, for me, it's reached the expiration date at the end of the second episode. Like,
I totally agree.
Yeah, just zero interest. I'm sorry, absolutely zero interest. How's it doing? Like, how was it? How's it been received in fandom?
Well, I've seen an awful lot of people like on Twitter that are like, this is great and all that, but nobody's. I mean, when you're looking at individuals really that are looking at this, and like no one's hooting from the tops of the roof saying this is the best thing that they've ever seen. It's like, yeah, it's okay. Passes 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and.
Right.
You switch the brain off, and that's the problem with the Marvel movies. Even like now they're going into TV series, which means they're going to be exposed now. Because if you can get away with an hour and a half of movie that kind of is an awful lot of fluff and it doesn't have anything to it, now it's on you to produce really good episodes week in, week out, or at least very much so 6 of them out of 8 have to be very good. I think that this has exposed the Marvel making factory. I think that this is the first episode and the second episode in particular, I think are absolutely terrible. And I think when you're looking at that then, like, I mean, that's a large portion of your show already that you're going, that's junk, you know? And I think that this is a very bad thing for Marvel. And I think when you look at what's coming, particularly from DC with the Snyder Cut in 4-hour installment of something that people want to see, and you know that there's going to be an arc behind it, I think that they're going to absolutely smash Marvel on this if they decide to go the TV route. Marvel are fucked if it goes the TV route.
After I watched Wonder Woman 84, which was freaking awful. Like, this was the worst movie. I can't believe how bad it was.
This was worse though than Wonder Woman 1984. This was worse.
You think? I don't think this was worse than you. Why
Wonder Woman 84 was bad. I just found that this was boring. I found that there was moments within 84.
Wonder Woman 84 was like excruciating. It was like,
yeah, it was bad. But I found that this was just boring. Like, I just felt myself looking down. I really have no interest in that. Like, there was at least moments in Wonder Woman where I was like, it's, you know, I look at it.
This is a weird choice of a series to go with as well as introduced into Introduction Phase 4. I would have thought they'll go with something that's like more commercially bankable, like the was it Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Action. That seems like the way to go.
Well, if you were going to do a Falcon and Winter Soldier, you do it like the Jason. If you were going to do Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which it seems like they're going to do it, you do it like a Jason Bourne movie, and I think that is what they're aiming for, and I think that that's a good idea. But I don't know what happened with relation to this one in terms of the studio panic and say, right, these are two characters that people have had in the Avengers for quite some time. There's a tie to Tony Stark.
No.
I don't know what this is.
This was made before the pandemic. This was made before the panic. This was again. This was the MCU front and center. This is the direction they want to go, and then I think it course corrected a bit after the pandemic. And honestly, the other shows they have really seem much more compelling. Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki. I love Loki.
I have to say, I did a video on like what my thoughts were on the Phase 4, and I have to say it was Phase 4 5 kind of really, I suppose, at the moment. But I was very underwhelmed by all of it. I was like, maybe like I'll see what the Fantastic Four is like. If they cast one character wrong there, I'm out. I've no interest. And I was like, that's it for me for the Phase 4. Like, there was nothing there that I said that's gripping. Like the Spider-Man 3, if they go into the multiverse, yeah, okay. But the rest of it, I was like, I don't care. Like if there's the X-Men.
I was going in. They already killed it for me by the time because again, Captain Marvel plus Wasp and Ant-Man plus the femful scene in
and now they're pushing.
It wasn't actually that good. You know, it was like the effect shots were all muddy. It didn't wow me at all. I'm like, it was a limp to the finish, and I'll say fine, forget it. This I had like another my subscription was still running from Mandalorian, which is excellent. I love Mandalorian. And so I was like, I'll give it a try, and I got to keep with it to review it. But and I'd like to see where it's going, but again, it's just
I think
weird.
it's a strange one, and I think you're right there in saying that they were intending to go down to the MCU route with this. And I mean, look at what they're going to bring out next. They're going to bring out Miss Marvel as a show. I mean,
that's absolutely awful.
Yeah, Moon Knight seems like it's a good idea, but I think that, you know, unfortunately, I think from what I've heard, Shia LaBeouf was supposed to take on the role of Moon Knight. I've discussed this with you before, and that Moon Knight is a quintessential Jewish character. Like, his parents are from, they survived that awful Holocaust, and you know, he's literally a direct descendant. And now they have Oscar Isaac in the role, but apparently what happened was, the stuff came out about Shia LaBeouf, and the studio panicked, and they went with Oscar Isaac because he was just there.
Well, I suppose is somewhat toxic, isn't it? I mean, like, it's like, and also I get the feeling that white straight leading men are incredibly replaceable in Hollywood now. In fact, they said that about Armie Hammer if he came out like he liked to eat people. What the hell's up with that?
Yeah, it's a strange one. I've seen some of the messages with it, but I mean, like, it seems like people are coming out and like they're like trying to, you know, quote unquote expose them. But like, when you look at some of the individuals that are promoting on Twitter, like, this is the thing. I'd seen a couple of articles, and it was like you do realize that the likes of Dominatrix's promote on this platform as well too, don't you? Like there's like these people are saying if not things that are similar, if not worse. Like, and there's nobody pointing the finger at any of that. You know what I mean? So like now, not obviously come down on what Army Hammer was up to, but there was clearly some consenting adults in that relationship, and
yeah,
still
weird. I know.
It's weird as fuck. Oh yeah, like I agree with you. It's very strange, but I mean, I suppose certain people have their kinks.
Like normally speaking, I'm like, yeah, whatever you want, I don't really mind.
Yeah,
but like that was just weird. Right, so listen, I just been offline for 25 hours. Do you want to have a quick look at the news with me? See what's going on. Do you have anything else to add about what? That's the thing. I don't think there's anything else to add about it, right?
No, I don't think there is. I think like it's a pretty flat series so far, and I think like it'll have to kick off at some stage. But I'm supposed we're waiting to see. Like in the second episode, as you'd noticed as well too, there was Strucker watches, which is Barnum von Strucker, who was involved in experiments with them in Age of Ultron. So it's interesting to see what that means going forward. Is Strucker going to turn up?
I get it. There's stuff going on, but like nothing. You gotta stop teasing and deliver it a little bit. Yeah, after a while. Right, let me look at the headlines. Godzilla versus Kong moved to up to March. I actually like the new version of King Kong movies. Did you see Snow Island? It's the last thing with Brie Larson where I didn't recognize him, thus like the movie.
Yeah, that was actually not too bad a movie, and I think because it was Tom Hiddleston took center point, and I think Sam Jackson was excellent in that movie as well too. There was a very Apocalypse Now vibe. Yeah, the trailer's insane. I love that MonsterVerse personally. I really do.
Let's have a look, see when it's coming out. So
they said the studio was fighting. Warner Bros. is fighting with I think Legendary Pictures. Legendary Pictures were like, no, hang on to this. Did you see that James Bond has been held back again till November of this year?
Oh please, nobody cares. It's over. It's over at this point. It's like
I want to see this in IMAX.
Crap as well. That's the thing. It's going to be a horribly woke James Bond. I'm convinced of it. Right. So they bring it back. So who wanted to do? So was it? It was supposed to be May 21st. Now it's March 26th. So why are they bringing it sooner? Like who wants that?
The plan is going to be to stream it, I'd say.
So I'm just kind of scanning through to see if they got any information. Legendary wasn't noted by WB's intention for the two movies the two studios are working on together, and was afraid money was being left on the table. So they also produced the Dune movie that's set for October this year. If its fate changes anyway, remains to be seen. So Godzilla versus Kong. Warner Bros. Comes up to agreement according with deadline. Allegedly, MonsterVerse producer will have pwned up 75%. Who pwned up 75% of the film's budget was reimbursed for their production costs. Blimey! Wow. They're desperate for content, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're struggling at the moment, and I think like this was a movie that I wanted to see on IMAX, and I don't think I would ever care about another movie on IMAX ever again. But this was it, and that's disappointing to say that it's been moved forward, because as you know, I'm in from a couple of the sources that I know within certain cinema industries, Cineworld, for example, they said that their jobs are gone, and it doesn't seem like they're ever coming back. So cinema industry here is done.
Listen, I have to say, my guess is getting this vaccine ready as quickly as they did is something the new administration are not happy about. I think they'll be much happier for this pandemic to go on for a long, long time, and people will be like.
If you've noticed in the last couple of days, you've seen New York's and Chicago's governors, they've both come out and been like, have to open up, lads, have to open up. And it's just like, well, hang on, literally 2 weeks ago, you were saying not to do that. Now you're going to let's open up. Now you know the game, you know what's going on. Everyone can read this.
I heard they're going to up the stimulus checks from 600 to 2,000, and they're doing it on January 21st.
Yeah, what I mean. It's stuff that's going on there now is mental at the moment, but I don't know. I personally think I think it's a lot more serious than people are thinking, and they think that this is going to just.
Dude, I have to tell you, and I've been saying and screaming this from the rooftops, and I know this is crazy. This is lining up to fit exactly these Kabbalistic prophecies for the end of days. It's lining up freakily. It's so these prophecies are. It's there's supposed to be all these wars in a year that's called a Shemitah year, which starts in September. in the Jewish calendar. Shemitah is once every 7 years. So the end of days, you're supposed to get these global wars, and before that, a dissolution of the world powers. So listen, if America does get into a civil war, right, I can see them not having any international influence by the end of August, right? They won't be like an international power. And in that case, you have once you have that power vacuum, you've got a bunch of people going to war. My prediction is that the very early on, China is going to invade Taiwan, and America will do nothing. That's going to be that's going to be one thing. But it's just, for me, it fits into that stroke very, very well. And I think you're going to be okay, by the way, in England because of Brexit. Right, I think there'll probably be like this massive influx of refugees, but I think you're probably going to be okay because of Brexit, which is funny thinking about it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Brexit has kind of like, a lot of them there now are holding the hands up and being like, yeah, right, we're out. Look, have a good one, But you're seeing what's going on as well too, particularly with Angela Merkel stepping down. It seems like Macron is going to step down. It seems like, I think in Holland, I think someone was stepping down, or there was at least 4 or 5 individuals there that are stepping down. And I think in Italy, the same, there was 4 or 5 individuals to step down.
And it really genuinely is. I'm nearly 50, never seen it like this before. The world is really falling apart. But let's talk about Godzilla.
Let's talk about Godzilla.
So they're talking about making a profit. It's going to depend on international ticket sales, especially in China. Domestic theaters aren't fully operational, and they don't go on. And those that don't go under may not be functional by March. So that's probably why they go. So it's going straight to Max. Legendary might still feel behind the scenes, though this new release date must be with their blessing. Okay. Kaiju Watchdogs, Jane DeVille posted 2 cents on Legendary's disposition by Twitter, crediting the performance of Wonder Woman 84 with swaying the firm. It did terribly. What?
I think that's probably what has happened. I think that they expected Wonder Woman 1984 to do well and kind of buy them some time. And I think because it went so badly, they're like, oh shit, we're going to have to put some stuff forward now to make sure people will buy in. I think that's why you're seeing the panic button being hit.
Read this. They say, clearly Wonder Woman 84 was a financial success. No, it wasn't.
That's gaslighting, that is. That's 100% gaslighting.
It crashed horribly.
Yeah, everyone hated it.
Embarrassment. Yeah, that's the thing. This new environment is not forgiving. You can't screw up at all, right? If you do something that's not great, everybody knows straight away, and we goofed on it nonstop. Like they put this out.
Tortuga as well too, Rabbi. Like I went to Tortuga for 84. So right. I didn't spend any money on it.
Listen, that's also good. But listen. But if someone's got a good word of mouth, right? Someone's got a good word of mouth. People say it's good. People will be more willing to like rent it or see it. But look at this. They're planning on erasing Trump from Home Alone 2. Really, Home Alone 2. You shouldn't get excited with yourself. Okay, let's see Brie Larson as Jedi Ava Chris. Perfect casting. Terrible actress for a terrible character.
Seems to be what they want to do. But like you said, Rabbi, I don't think this stuff is forgiven anymore. I think they're going to have to have a very serious thing. Do you think, actually, Rabbi, now that we're on the subject now of Star Wars, do you know the way they unveil that slate? Do you think that all of those shows that they unveiled get made?
Yeah, I think they intend to make them.
But do you think with this climate as it is at the moment, do you think that they will make them?
No, I genuinely believe that a biblical apocalypse is coming. I genuinely believe it. I was filling out a tax form the other day. I was thinking, should I be putting this out? I'm like, who cares? Doesn't matter. It's like that's how. So I think they intend to be made. I don't know. Nothing. Again, I believe America will be in the grips of a civil war starting by at the latest mid-March, right? Yeah. And I think by August. It won't be a functional country. I think it'll be a war. I think it's going to be awful.
But there's ways of it going. Like there's talking about secession as well too, and I suppose like that there's Texas that has that ability to do that because they're like, well, we're Texas, and I think that a lot of states will possibly do the same. But I mean, you're seeing one side that are playing the legal system and playing things the way they should, fair and square, and then you're seeing another side that's completely fucking doing the opposite, and you're like, well, how is this? How can you ever take any of this seriously ever again? You know, like if you were talking about, you know, democracy and stuff, how do you take democracy seriously ever again if one side is just completely done what they done?
What went down the election, and I'm sure everybody on the channel knows my opinions, right? Regardless of what, America is not a functional democracy. When 40% of the electorate feel there is no point in voting because your vote will be thrown out because they'll cheat. There's not, and they believe it, right? They believe, and it'll be so easy to dispel that belief. All you got to do is audit those. But that's not the thing. The thing was that, if any other normal situation, if the president comes out and says there has been massive voter fraud and lists it, specifically lists it, and all the allegations seemingly are credible, right? Have some level of credit, and then it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Twitter says it doesn't matter. So everybody goes, okay, it doesn't matter. That's the world we live in, right? And I don't think people are going to be up for that. Yeah,
I don't think so either. I think that's why they're trying to suppress the social media aspect of things so much. I mean, did you see that video that came out the other day? I think that guy Jack Paposiak, or I think his name is, he shared it, and like within about an hour and a half, like it was of Jack Dorsey, and it was gone. Like they had scrubbed it, you know. And I was just like, oh, that's interesting.
Oh yeah,
you know.
They're going to do a clampdown. Yeah, but like again, anybody been watching like that my channel's still around. I'm amazed. I have to be honest with you. I'm not surprised that Noel's got taken down. And that's where it's going to go to.
I can't believe Noel was taken down. I really can't. That's fucking shocking.
Look again, the world we live in. I don't think there's any new news there. No, nothing going on.
We've got She-Hulk there as well. Yeah, Diana Schwartz. That's Az's friend.
Yeah. Although I can tell you, I like the comic. I like the Charles Soule comic. Did you ever read that?
The which one? The She-Hulk comic?
Yeah, the Charles Soule one.
Yeah. I like that. Charles Soule, he's done some decent stuff.
He's gone so SJW, hasn't
he? He's finished now with it. I think isn't he involved with the High Republic stuff now?
Yeah, exactly. I saw it with the Jedi Ava Chris. Oh god, she's such an. I did this a video this week where it was a Nerdist. They were really mad at Doctor Who because they had black characters, which is good for them, but they were mad because the black characters got killed or were evil or were helping out the authorities, right? I mean, like. The reason all these things fail horribly is because they insist on having a very, very diverse cast of diversity. But then anybody diverse can't have anything negative about them in any way, and you just get boredom which is kind of what I felt about WandaVision. Tying it back to that, just boredom.
Yeah, and it does become plain, and I mean, like an awful lot of places are playing it too safe, like you said, and I mean, they're not doing things like I mean, wouldn't it be interesting if Sam Wilson takes the shield and goes fucking power hungry and power mad, and then US Agent has to come in and sort them out, or the Winter Soldier, you know, like that would have been cool, you know, that would have been interesting.
So who's was it Chris Evans being lined up to like be Captain America in a flashback or something?
I feel that there's a couple of things going on. He said not too long ago that he was done, and then he said, kind of when Endgame came about, it was like, nah, never say never. And when he was all cap, and now it seems like he's back full force. I wouldn't be too surprised if the WandaVision thing, and because she's going to be in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, by the way, I won't be surprised if she whips open this thing and then like a younger Steve comes over or something like that. Because I think right now, Marvel are going to need money. They know the landscape. They know people don't care about Phase 4. They really do, I think. And I think they're going to have to bring someone in. Now, I think bringing Chris Evans back was the wrong choice because I think out of everybody that's in the cast, he has mouthed off about politics the most. I think the safe bet for them was to bring back RDJ. I think Robert Downey Jr. I mean, the internet...
He is coming back, though, isn't he?
Downey Jr., no, he's not. If anything, he might come back as a bit of a voiceover for the Ironheart series. But I think if you were going to look for a big splash, I think it was like bring RDJ back, and he's done the Dr. Dolittle movie. It didn't do too well. He's talked about doing Sherlock Holmes 3. But see, there's an awful lot of things that are going on. Like he said with his Sherlock Holmes 3 with Guy Ritchie, that he would include a certain Jack Sparrow. I know sometimes if you say the actor's name, it doesn't go well for YouTube don't like it. He's going to include Jack Sparrow in Sherlock Holmes 3. So what does that do? Well, that also puts then saying, well, I want to do Sherlock Holmes as opposed to anything else at the moment.
Wait. Jack Sparrow's in Sherlock Holmes 3? How?
Well, not Jack Sparrow, the actor. You know what I'm saying? The YouTube don't like you saying that actor's name at the moment, if you understand what I'm saying.
I didn't realise. Really? Really?
Yeah. They limit your videos and stuff like if you do it. I said his name in video, bang, limited straight away. You know?
Wow.
So
I had no idea.
Yeah. They don't like you saying her name either, by the way.
Well, what?
They don't like you saying her name either, by the way. Mira, the actress that plays Mira, if you understand.
I really remember it, so it's okay.
So they don't like it. But yeah, I think that's the way Downey Jr. is wanting to move forward. But I think if Disney were clever, they would be bringing Downey Jr. back. They'd be paying him what they need, and they'd bring him back and to fill the gap. Bring the X-Men in, cancel Captain Marvel too, get rid of it. Get rid of a couple of other things like Miss Marvel. Okay, they're going to push that out the boat. But I'd have stopped them mid-season and said, right, there's 4 episodes of this miniseries. Get it out. Nobody likes the character anyway. Square Enix just lost over 63 million, I think, on that video game that they included her in. So.
Right. I was just saying. I saw this. Speaking of Falcon Winter Soldier, they also got this back, Chris Evans. But here, let's have a look at their costumes.
The thing that has me most excited there, I've just seen a pop up there, is Mortal Kombat. They haven't dropped the trailer for that yet.
Oh wait! What popped up? Where is it?
It was down. As you're scrolling down, you'll see it. As you're scrolling down, there on the right hand side, you'll see it there. Just under there, under the Captain and Winter Soldier there. See it?
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Well, like the ice thing above Ben Affleck there. Yeah, that's it. On the right hand side.
I'm trying to find the pictures of the costumes.
Oh, the costumes, yeah. You see them there in the middle there as you scroll up.
This is it?
That's their costumes, yeah, that's it.
It's exactly what I expected to be. What's the news? I don't get the news. That's what I saw them wear in the posters and everything else. That's not news. What do you do? Well, let's have a look at see what Sub-Zero is going to look like.
Yeah, that's Joe Taslim. I think he's in that Will Assassins. It's either that or a Warrior. I think it is one or the other. He's an incredible martial artist. They've actually brought in actual martial artists to be these characters.
That's a good idea. Teddy, when I use Mortal Kombat, I always played as the woman. Whoever it was.
Well, as they moved on, they got more woke and they got uglier as well too, by the way. You know, the last Mortal Kombat, the women were absolutely atrocious looking in it. And they were all covered up.
In the early 90s, mate.
Yeah, so that's Liu Kang. That's Liu Kang and Kung Lao.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
it is that. Fine, more Mortal Kombat stuff. Okay, that looks cool.
He was in the Supergirl TV series, I think he was. I think he was one, yeah, man. What's it called? Was he Jimmy Olsen in that? They made him Jimmy Olsen Black, I think, on that one, didn't they?
Listen, the only black Jimmy Olsen I always wanted to see was Chris Rock in a 1990 Superman. I think he would be a great Jimmy Olsen. And that would have Nicolas Cage as Superman. Did you ever see that movie, The Death of Superman?
Oh man, so good. That would have been hilarious.
I really like that. But
there's one thing that Kevin Smith says in it as well too, which he talks about, like, you know, that the producer at the time wanted a giant spider. He wanted Superman to find the giant spider, and he's like, no, I didn't want it. He's like, it doesn't fit the Superman mythos. He says, and then it was in Wild Wild West.
right. Like, very obvious. It was really weird. Like they had the giant spider was what's his name? English actor.
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, Kenneth Branagh. Right, for some weird reason that made no sense. Suddenly he was in a giant spider contraption thing. Fine, yeah. Listen, I'm gonna have to go. I got my thing coming up in 5 minutes. I'm gonna say good night to everybody. Good night. I hope everybody stays safe. Everybody stays well. Do I have Noel's channel? Let me see if I can put it one more time in the chat. I do heartily recommend everybody go over there and give him a sub. You know, even if you don't watch the channel, just make him feel good. What's he up to? What's his? He's up. He's got 149 subscribers. So, hey, let's get him up to 1,000. Right? Wouldn't that be awesome? Let's all everybody pass it around. Everybody sub. Fine. I'm gonna say. By the way, the Jimmy Olsen in not Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman never worked for me. I was like, you killed him off in 10 minutes. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I actually kind of liked it. I liked that he was kind of like a CIA operative. Personally, I always
I
found
like
he was a character that's a good character. But you know,
Superman. He's gone. I blinked and he missed him. Fine. Okay, I am going to go. Neomic says goodbye. So I'm going to say goodbye again. Bye back. I'm saying the end.